Okay, on today's show, we are going to be making a chocolate muffin. This does require a few specialized ingredients. Wait, no, it doesn't. Never mind. But anyway, you are going to need 1 stick of butter and 4 large eggs out of your refrigerator. Okay, from our freezer, we're going to need a bag of chocolate chips. Or normal chocolate, if you want. Now, why I put this in the freezer is back a few summers ago, I was making this dish, and I left the chocolate chips in my pantry. They melted. Okay, this is just a lot safer. Okay, let's get started. We're gonna have to melt some chocolate and butter. 8 ounces of chocolate chips and 1 stick of butter go over a double broiler, and make sure the water is simmering, not boiling. That would be bad. Oh, also, you can use these bars, but cut them up. They'll do yourself a big favor. Oh, and you should always keep these up and out of the reach of children. Stir this until it melts, depending on how solid it are, somewhere about 5 minutes. Okay, once the chocolate and butter have melted, pop them on your stand mixer. Make sure you use your stand mixer bowl, and while it's melting, feel free to sift together 4 ounces of sugar, 1.5 ounces of flour, and a tablespoon of cocoa powder. So now we take the spatula out, for starters, and pop this in and just start beating it, because some butter will remain and we need to get that worked in. Oh, also, dump out this hot water. This can get dangerous. Going on, add a teaspoon of vanilla to this, and just wait till that works in. Move this over here. Crank up to medium speed, and start adding 4 eggs one at a time. And make sure you don't add the next egg until you can't see the first egg at all in the batter. Now the first 2 are going to be pretty quick. 3 and 4 won't be as quick. But don't crank up the speed. That will cause a disaster. Okay, the eggs have all been incorporated. Now crank the speed down to low, and slowly on a paper plate add the flour, sugar, and cocoa powder that we sifted together earlier. This is going to take a little time, but don't. As soon as it's all worked in, you crank up the speed briefly to bring it together. Scrape down the side of the bowl. Okay, but dry goods have been added. Now for something weird. We turn up the speed all the way to high and mix for 5 minutes. Is this necessary? Yes. What's going on in there? Come here. Okay, what's really going on in that mixer? Well, let's just say for a minute, this glove represents a bubble that is inside that mixture created by the eggs. Now, at the moment, the mixture is probably really, really dense, and we don't really want that for this type of muffin, so we use the mixer to beat air into it, which is like doing this. Okay, this is a bad example, but you get the point. Okay, now let's just say that at a point there's gonna get too much pressure, pretty much. All the pressure will build up, and at some point, game over. They pop. You wrecked it. You didn't wreck it. You just need to start over. Okay, I think the mix is about done. Okay. So our batter has been beaten for 5 minutes on high, and it's definitely a lot lighter in color and has a very light flavor to it. Now to get the rest of the batter off back into the bowl, just bend it in a little and turn it to low speed. That won't really work unless you get it to high, and it's a little dangerous, so, well, you'll find some use for this. Sorry, but that's the best use I can think of. Now we need to chill this batter for half an hour for a nice molten interior on these muffins. If you can find a spot for it. Okay, see you in a half hour. Okay, it's been half an hour. I've buttered and cocoa powdered a 12-hole muffin pan. Now, you would ideally want to use a 4-ounce scoop. I don't have a 4-ounce scoop. So what I do is I do 1 round in each hole, then come back until it's full and I have a dozen. It's going to take a while with this little scoop, so. Okay, I've scooped them in. Now, if any look a little off target, just kind of smooth them out a little. Don't worry, my hands are clean. Then pop them in a 375-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. I start at 10 and come back and check at 12, and come back and check every minute or so. Okay, now wash those hands. Okay, muffins have been in the oven for about 12 minutes. Now you know when we're done because the crust will be hard, but stick say a fork in, and it comes out kind of gooey. That's exactly what you want. It'll set, don't worry. Just right. Now, the way I see it is we need to make a glaze. So, let me put together some ingredients. Okay, now in a small saucepan combine, well, 2 cups of ice cream. Vanilla ice cream, to be exact. And a plunger cup really does help here, because you can just kind of pop it in, and, well, try to scrape off the rest. Now, temperature's a bit of a factor here. If it's high, we're going to burn the ice cream. If it's low, well, we could be here a couple of hours. So I like to go medium-low. I'll check on it in about 2 minutes. Okay, it has taken about, I don't know, 20 minutes on very low heat, so we don't have an explosion. But all the vanilla ice cream has melted. Still a little cold, but that's kind of how you want it. Now, we're going to need to add a little flavor, so we're actually going to add a teaspoon of, well, this is peppermint latte mix, but feel free to use whatever kind of flavored mix you want. Just mix that in. Now, if you use 2 cups, because this recipe originally calls for 1, you're going to want to add about a half a teaspoon more just to make sure you get the full flavor effect. Now let that dissolve for a minute, because it's going to clump up on you. Oh, actually what will help is if you grab a real spoon and mix that up for a few seconds. And there you go. Now you should take a ladle and just drizzle it into the center of the muffins, which have actually kind of collapsed in the middle, which is what you want. Then just serve them and store them. Yeah, this syrup will actually freeze really well, and I find it goes great on just about anything. So feel free to try it in some new and exotic ways, but don't fiddle with this recipe. It's too good. Okay, see you next time.